Establishment of new states is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 2. Equality before law is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 14. Abolition of titles is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 18. Abolition of untouchability is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 17. Freedom to manage religious affairs is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 26. Equal justice and free legal aid is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 39. A uniform civil code for the citizens is associated with which article? Answer C. Article 44. Organization of village panchayats is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 40. Separation of judiciary from the executive is associated with which article? Answer C. Article 50. The President of India is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 52. Oath or affirmation by the President is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 60. The Vice President of India is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 63. Oath or affirmation by the Vice President is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 69. The Attorney General of India is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 76. Power of President to grant pardons is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 72. Composition of the Council of States, Rajya Sabha, is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 80. Duration of Houses of Parliament is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 83. Chairman and Deputy Chairman of the Council of States is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 89. Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of the People is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 93. Joint sitting of both houses is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 108. Definition of money bill is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 110. Language to be used in Parliament is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 120. Rules of procedure in Parliament is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 118. Establishment and Constitution of Supreme Court is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 124. Review of judgments or orders by the Supreme Court is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 137. Ancillary powers of Supreme Court is associated with which article? Answer C. Article 140. Power of President to consult Supreme Court is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 143. Comptroller and Auditor General of India is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 148. The Governor of States is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 153. Oath or affirmation by the Governor is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 159. Advocate General for the state is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 165. Composition of the legislative assemblies is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 170. High courts for states is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 214. Transfer of a judge from one high court to another is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 222. High courts in the Union Territories is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 241. Special provisions with respect to Delhi is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 239. Powers, authorities, and responsibilities of panchayats is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 243G. Powers, authorities, and responsibilities of municipalities is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 243. W. Contingency fund is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 267. Goods and Services Tax Council is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 279A. Finance Commission is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 280. Administrative Tribunals is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 323. A National Commission for Scheduled Castes is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 338. National Commission for Scheduled Tribes is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 338. A National Commission for Backward Classes is associated with which article? Answer C. Article 338B. Official language of the Union is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 343. National emergency is associated with which article? Answer A. Article 352. President's rule, state emergency, is associated with which article? Answer B. Article 356. Financial emergency is associated with which article? Answer C. Article 360. Fundamental duties are contained in which article? Answer B. Article 51A.